I am here at my #1 compost bin, and I am sorting out the compost again. Thursdays are always my composting day, so I have this bucket here that I put food scraps in and put worms in there last year, and I put the bucket in this compost pile. Now, I didn't bring this indoors because in that bucket I would put undesirable stuff in there. So the stuff that you wouldn't normally put in a worm bin, but you want the worms to eat it. So whether it is meat or dairy or stuff like that, I'd put it in the bucket and then put it in this bin with some finished compost. That way the worms could go in and out and eat without rodents or other pests getting in. So the bin was smelly, it was drippy and everything, so I did not bring it indoors. As you can see, although it is breaking down, it hasn't broken down completely yet. Still in a clump. Some of it feels like it is still a bit frozen. But the reason I'm showing you this today is because I decided to turn the content out. And as you can see, do you see all those little tiny things by my fingers there? All those tiny little things, they're actually larvae, but there's no sign of life from them. But the reason I'm showing you this is because as I turned it out in here, I started to notice that there are quite a bit of cocoons, and these cocoons are looking very big and healthy too. So there are quite a bit of cocoons in here. So now look at that, quite a bit of cocoons in here. So now I'm wondering if I should maybe take out back this content and put it back in the bucket and then allow it to the eggs or the cocoons to hatch. The reason I want to take them out is because this is a hot composting pile. It hasn't gone through the heat process yet, and I don't want to ruin all of these cocoons. And trust me, there are hundreds of eggs of cocoons in here. It would be a shame to see them go to waste. So yes, I think I'm going to take out the content. And given that the things that were in this bucket are undesirables, I don't think I'm gonna let it stay in here. So we're gonna rescue those cocoons, and then we're gonna see what's gonna happen with this bucket. It has quite a lot of holes in the sides from top to bottom, and holes in the bottom. There are no holes in the cover. So I'm gonna take out this content, put it back in the bucket, and see what happens with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some shredded paper to the bottom of it. And I'm going to add some leaves. These leaves haven't started breaking down yet. They don't break down so easily. These are black poplar leaves that I got from a friend. Okay, so I'm going to put the rest, the material that was originally in here, back now. So I have restored the content of the bin, and we're going to be seeing what's happening with this. The good thing about Redwiggler cocoon is that they can survive the winter. As you can see from the cocoons that I showed you just now, they are looking quite healthy, and these were outdoors in -55 temperatures for the entire winter. Not that it was -55 Celsius all winter, but for many days out of the winter we've had some -50, -55 temperatures, and the cocoons are looking quite healthy and nice. Now, one of the things that I like about these worms is that they're smart enough to know that if the compost pile gets too hot, they can move to the outside or the perimeters of the pile. That way they won't be in the portion of the compost that is super hot, so they can always move to the outskirt of the material. So I wasn't able to get out all of the content that I put in here, so chances are there will be some cocoons in here, but they will be able to move to the side, so I don't need to worry too much about them. They should be fine. It will be interesting to see. You know, I wanted to keep this content in here, and the reason I wanted to keep it in here, I was thinking, what if I didn't add any more worms to it, just the cocoons that were in that bucket, and then see what the worm population would be like in 2.5 to 3 months when summer is here. But I don't know, we'll see. For now, there is still a few cocoons in here that I can't really get out without taking out the other content of the bin, so those will stay. We'll see what happens with them. So I'm thinking maybe when this pile has gone through the heat process and the other bin has also gone through the heat process, I might empty the content of this bucket back in here, and those will be the underworms that get added to this bin. And then instead of adding my regular worms to this, as I do every year, I'd be adding it to the second compost bin and see what happens. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see what becomes of this bin and what becomes of the cocoons that are in here, then please take a moment to give me a thumbs up. You can leave a comment in the section below. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and turn on your notification for more updates like these. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day. Yeah man, time for grow.